I'm Daniel Pinchbeck here in the East Village for New York natives, filming Underground Thought for New World, and we're about to go meet Ramez Naam, author of The Infinite Resource and Nexus, science fiction, and other books. And yeah, we're going to stroll around and see what he has to say.
My name is Ramez Naam. I just wrote a book called The Infinite Resource, The Power of Ideas on a Finite Planet, about how to save the world through innovation.
So how do we save the world through innovation?
Well, we've been doing it for a long time. We had acid rain a few decades ago, we had the ozone hole before that, and every time we've rallied and we fixed the problems that we had. But a lot of it has to do with making sure that our common resources, our atmosphere, our water, our forests, actually have value to the market that puts prices on things. That's the number one thing I would say.
Nice. So what's the best news in your book?
The best news in my book probably is that hunger and poverty are down. The fraction of humanity that's starving is down by more than half since the 1970s. I'd say that's probably the best news there is.
Yeah, and you talk about life expectancy has gone way up.
Yeah, life expectancy around the planet has gone up by more than 10 years since 1970 as well. People who were in dirt poverty now are not and have enough to eat and clothes on their back.
Yeah.
Access to information.
Education has gone up a lot.
Education has gone up tremendously around the world, and the developing world in every way is catching up with the rich world. So the biggest advances in the last 40, 50 years in people's well-being haven't been in the US or Europe. They've been in China, in India, and Africa. Those places that were once just full of poverty are now just tremendously better and still rising. I think innovators, people in technology, science, engineering can do a whole lot, but they can't do it by themselves. I think the number one thing we have to do is we have to get our carbon emissions and our addiction to fossil fuel under control. I propose doing that by putting more of a price on them, by putting a tax on greenhouse emissions. If somebody is burning coal and that's damaging the planet and damaging you, they're not paying for that damage right now. So make them pay for it, and that'll make us move even faster towards solar and wind and renewables.
Haven't they kind of tried that with cap and trade, and wasn't it kind of a flop?
We've tried it with cap and trade. It's been tried in Europe, and it's not going very well in Europe, in part because they set the cap too high.
Yeah.
They were too pessimistic about how fast we could reduce. So a carbon tax is just a straight-up additional price that you have on the cost of coal, oil, and natural gas. And that's kind of a simpler thing. That price is there no matter how much people are trading or how below the cap they are.
So yeah, one of my critiques of your book a little bit was that you end up supporting what I have seen called as kind of like a neo-environmentalist program where you believe to deal with the level of difficulties we're now facing. Even though in a sense all those difficulties have been created by industrial technologies, we actually need to use almost more intensive applications of things like nuclear energy, genetically modified food, and potentially massive geoengineering projects like putting sulfur particles into the atmosphere and so on.
I think we should look at all of these things on their merits. Like a solar panel is still an industrial activity, right? But we'd rather have a solar panel than a coal-fired power plant. I think everyone agrees with that. I'd say we've been genetically modifying foods for 10,000 years. And one of the things people don't appreciate about foods is you've got to grow more food per acre, or you've got to chop down more trees to make more acres of farmland. So I support anything that finds a way to grow more food without chopping down more rainforest. And that really is kind of the conundrum right now. Raise yields per acre or clear more land. So I think GMOs can help with that, and they can actually reduce fertilizer use.
Nice. How do you feel about New York City? Welcome to our town.
I love New York City.
What do you love about it so much?
I'm a fan of people. You asked what people are for. One thing people are for, or one thing people do a lot, is they create ideas and they spread ideas. And in a place like this that is so dense with people and smart people and so multicultural, you have this huge density of innovation and of innovation not just in technology and science, but in culture, in the arts, in philosophy, and ecological thinking. So I think that centers of people like this are a wonderful thing for the world.
So you've been watching me bimble around New York City with Ramez Naam, author of The Infinite Resource, which is human innovation and creativity. And thanks very much for checking this out.